Lord Windgrace versus Sram, Senior Edificer. A commander I like to play on, well, I like to play in private nowadays because whenever I play it on the channel, no one really seems to care for it. We'll get Summoning Sickness off the Dryad Arbor. We'll go in for that first and hope that our opponent doesn't have a Swords to Plowshares in hand. Sram Senior Edificer is whenever you cast an aura, equipment or vehicle, you draw a card. It is a 2/2 for 2 mana. Lord Windgrace is a 5 mana Jund commander, 5 loyalty. Draw a card and discard a card. If you discard a land, you draw 2 instead. -3, reanimate 2 lands. And -11, destroy up to 6 non-land permanents and create 6 Forest Walking Cats. We'll get down the Dryad Arbor so that we don't have Summoning Sickness on that. Dryad Arbor is in here so that we can fish it up on turn 1 with a Green Sun Zenith. Yeah, that's typical. We will get down a tap land, swing in with the Dryad Arbor, and pass it back over to our opponent. As is often the case with a turn 2 in a Sram deck, Sram comes down on turn 2. We'll go for Ramunap Excavator. Not sure what we want to get with the Green Sun Zenith just yet, so we'll go for Ramunap Excavator. That can block Sram quite well, assuming that he doesn't get enchanted this turn. Okay, Ring of Thune, and our opponent draws off that. The equipped creature has Vigilance, and a +1/+1 counter goes on the equipped creature at the beginning of the upkeep. We will just go in for some mana fix in here. Another black and red source with Polluted Delta will do. And I think Green Sun Zenith for Azusa wouldn't be terrible, so why don't we go for that? Grab ourselves a Badlands, and then Green Sun Zenith, and 3 goes into X. Azusa will come into play. That'll let us play an additional 2 lands on each of our turns. So we'll fish out some tap lands here. Shock lands that we're not going to pay for. There we go. Now it's noteworthy. Our opponent's going to swing in next turn and we are not going to block, so we might as well get 2 points of damage in on them. They get their +1/+1 counter thanks to Ring of Thune. I was contemplating going for Reclamation Sage with the Green Sun Zenith there. Enlightened Tutor, see what they go for. But I didn't really think that Reclamation Sage onto Ring of Thune was particularly worth it, although it is a good equipment if it stays out long enough. But I'd rather use Reclamation Sage on a Sword of Feast and Famine, for instance. We are not going to block here. We now know that that is on the field, so we'll get rid of it. And I think the plan here will be we'll see what we draw into, but it's looking like Lord Windgrace and discarding Tectonic Edge. Well, we can get some green sources with Misty Rainforest, multiple green sources actually. Let's go for Lord Windgrace. And we will discard our Misty Rainforest because we can play that from the graveyard. Oracle of Muldiah. I don't think we've made a land drop yet, have we? So let's go Misty Rainforest. And we'll do that again. And then once more. And then we've run out of land drops, but we can get another land down thanks to Oracle of Muldiah. And a Bajuka Bog I don't think is going to be of any use to us. So we'll just get that down as a tap land and that'll clear something off the top as well. Get rid of our opponent's Enlightened Tutor. And now we're looking like we're going to be able to get a threat going with Avenger of Zendikar. There's nothing to say that our opponent doesn't have a board wipe, but we have discard fodder in the hand, so I'm not too worried about Sword of Feast and Famine. 2 Sword of Feast and Famines can really pile on the damage to us. And we'll just discard Tectonic Edge. We can play that out of the graveyard if we want to get rid of Inventor's Fair. We may do that, actually. Now then, our opponent's commander is an 8/8, and it will go up to being a 9/9, and then an 11/9. And that means that they will have enough commander damage on us. Now then, Sylvan Scrying. Yeah, Sylvan Scrying can get us into Maze of Ith, can't it? Yeah, we'll go for drawing a card here. Yeah, and Valakut I don't think is going to be of any use to us. Let's get down not Sylvan Scrying, let's get down the Avenger of Zendikar. That is going to be our win condition for this game. We'll get a load of tokens into play. And then we'll go for Valakut. How many mountains do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 to switch on the Valakut. We'll always say yes and yield to that. Go for a Sylvan Scrying. Get ourselves into a Maze of Ith. Play Maze of Ith. And then I think we have 2 more land drops. So we'll go for the Tech Edge just so we can get rid of that Inventor's Fair. Mounting off the top. And yeah, there we are. We are fresh out of land drops now. So we can leave it at that. Let's go for the Tech Edge onto the Inventor's Fair so that they don't gain any life. Open the armory. Yeah, they may have us here. We perhaps should have gone for Glacial Chasm. That would stop all damage coming through. Maze of Ith does have to target, so if they go for Swiftfoot Boots here, or Lightning Greaves, yeah, they've gone for Lightning Greaves so that we can't target them. Yeah, that's a mistake on my part. And then down comes Mother of Runes and Basilisk Collar. Actually, how much is... this is 3 to equip, so... Yeah, I thought that our opponent would have commander damage on us there, but clearly they didn't. And we can get lots of land drops out next turn, so I thought we'd just thrown the game away there, and I was annoyed with myself because I did think maybe I should get Glacial Chasm first. Alright, our opponent scoops there. What I was doing there was getting out a few mountains with the Misty Rainforest from the graveyard, just to Valakut, Lightning Bolt my opponent a few times. I couldn't be bothered doing the maths. They've got lifelink on their Sram Senior Edificer now, and I didn't want to do the maths. As it happens, our plant tokens are now more than big enough to go wide and deal damage to our opponent. What I was saying there before I started doing that was I thought that our opponent had commander damage on us because I'd worked out previously that they could get the, I think it was an 11/9 they could have got Sram up to. Yeah, looking back on the game now and trying to remember exactly what went on, I need to look at the recording again and see what exactly occurred there. Maybe destroying our opponent's land really messed them up. They obviously went for the Lightning Greaves in order to keep us from targeting them with the Maze of Ith. But in doing that, they couldn't equip their Sword of Vengeance to get their power up to commander damage levels. So it was either they equip the Sword of Vengeance and then swing in and Sram gets knocked away by Maze of Ith, or they go for Lightning Greaves to keep us from ever targeting Sram. Unfortunately, our opponent needed an extra turn and then they could have got the win, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. We made a mistake going for the Maze of Ith instead of the Glacial Chasm, but turns out we just had way too much mana for our opponent. We could get more done more quickly than they could. Like I say, they needed an extra turn there. So that was Lord Windgrace versus Sram Senior Edificer. Hope you all enjoyed that one, and I will see you all in the next one. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.